this ball's drilled deep left field. Gone!
I'm almost glad I got knocked down. Show me how to get back up from this here ground. Get ready for the comeback. Come back. Get ready for the comeback. Come back. Get ready for me.
The Sox go into action today with their largest division lead of the season. At 12 games, they have tied their season-high watermark, 21 games over 500. They're just 3 games off the top seed. That's the Tampa Bay Rays right now in the American League. They go for the 4-game series sweep. It's the A's and the Sox here on NBC Sports Chicago. Starting pitchers today, lefty Cole Irvin will face the White Sox for the first time in his career. Hard-throwing Dylan Cease goes for the Sox. And welcome to a matinee of Sox baseball. Steve Stone and Len Casper with you. We'll get right into our big story brought to you by Mattress Firm, and we'll talk about some happy returns in the Sox outfield.
We've been waiting all year for the team to be reassembled. Get Eloy back, get Luis back, get him back at the same time, and watch the offense take hold. That's exactly what's been going on. You take a look since the return from the injuries. They're hitting a combined .351 with 8 home runs, 27 driven in. The on-base percentage has been great. The slugging percentage has been really great. And the emergence of these 2 guys back in the lineup means there's one left. Yaz to come back, and this team will be reassembled the way it was thought of in spring training. But first things first, got to take care of Oakland today, and the bats will do it.
And the pitching, hopefully, will do it as well. We'll dig into the starting matchup when we come back, getting you set for Game 4 against the A's. He has such great stuff. He'll take the ball as the Sox go for the sweep today.
There's no doubt that he's getting better and better with every passing outing. You know, we were waiting for him to come alive. He's got stardom written all over him. It was just a question of getting the innings in. And this year, 20 starts with 3 or fewer earned runs. That's really unbelievable. The big part about him is that he's got the release point for the curveball. He's using all of his pitches with the confidence to get him over the plate. He threw a couple of great changeups last time out, and so as a 4-pitch pitcher, he's going to dominate a lot of lineups, and we're hoping he dominates Oakland today.
Dylan third in the league in strikeouts. In fact, 3 Sox in the top 5. They'll try to keep hitting some home runs and hope for the first 4-game sweep over the A's since 1997. We'll have the first pitch next. Well, we're ready for day baseball here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Dylan Cease will try to pitch the Sox to their 4th consecutive win. They've got a tough trip coming up to Tampa Bay and Toronto. And Bob Melvin's crew trying to end a 4-game losing streak. Now the A's insure on the spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote and save in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. Canna, Marte, Olsen, that's what we've seen this whole series. Moreland the DH, Chapman, then Seth Brown in the middle. Murphy will catch and hit 7th. Tony Kemp gets a start at 2nd, hitting 8th. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, 9th.
Dylan Cease going to the mound for his 25th start of the year, looking for his 10th win. His ERA just over 4. A lot of strikeouts, 165 of them, 124 2/3. He hasn't walked that many people. That's what he's going to use. The 4-seam fastball, 46+% of the time. The slider, almost 30% of the time. With the curveball, which is getting better, about 15% of the time. And the changeup, not so much. Our UI Health defense, and this is how Tony La Russa puts them out there in this beautiful afternoon for baseball. It's Eloy, Luis, and Brian in the outfield left to right. With Yuan, Danny, Cesar, and Andrew at first base today. Zach Collins has got the plate. We told you about Dylan Cease.
How about the weather? Little sticky, 84 degrees. A tiny chance of some showers later, but hopefully not.
Dylan Cease has gotten hurt on the first pitch. That's something that hitters are looking for from him. They don't expect him to throw a breaking ball, either a slider or curveball on the first pitch. More times than not, they will jump on a fastball.
The first inning is brought to you by Toyota. Both teams wearing their alternate uniforms today. Sox in the alternate black tops, and the A's with those cool lighter Kelly green jerseys. So Mark Canha will lead things off, and the first pitch by Cease is a fastball, but it's inside and low for ball one. There was a lot of pitch making last night as several White Sox pitchers had to work out of some jams. The A's left 11 on base, went 1 for 12 with men in scoring position. Danny Mendick on the dirt makes the catch. Time now for a player profile presented by Geico. Make it easy. Swings and misses. Lucas Giolito right at the top, and Dylan Cease ranks third. Robbie Ray having a fine year with the Jays.
He threw brilliantly against our ball club here in our ballpark, and we'll probably see him up in Toronto. But Giolito and Cease, 1 and 3 on the leaderboard.
Starling Marte takes ball one. Fairly quiet series, 2 out of 10. And he's been great since he was traded from Miami to Oakland. Moncada will play in at third. There's a strike. It's 1-1. That's Bruce Dreckman behind the plate.
Love the fact that he dropped the slider over early in the count, because that pretty much opens him up for an inside fastball.
1-2.
This is a good man to keep off base. The reason is, if he gets on against this combination of Cease and Collins, he's going to be running. That's pretty much a guarantee.
In the air to center for Luis Robert. Let's look at Dylan's season in terms of his pitches. A lot of four-seamers. And look at the curveball, getting a 160 batting average against.
Well, the curveball is so good, has so much spin on it, and breaks so late that truly, if he gets it near the plate, hitters don't have much of a chance to square it up.
Matt Olson looks at a strike. 1 for 10. Hit by a pitch, 2 walks in the series. So they've kept him relatively quiet. The A's have scored 4 runs total in the series. Vaughn will scoop. Cease at the bag. Nicely done. That was an 8-pitch first inning for Dylan Cease. Season. Now the Sox insure on the spot. Starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote. Save in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. No Tim. So Hernandez leads off. Robert moving up to the 2 spot. Abreu DHing. You've got Jimenez, Vaughn, and Moncada in the middle. Goodwin, Mendick, and Collins will round it out.
Let's take a look at Cole Irvin on for his 24th start. His ERA of 3.5. Now, the one thing you'll notice is the 25 walks in 135 in the 3rd innings. He will be around the plate with everything. He throws strike one 2/3 of the time, so you have to jump on the first pitch you see. His four-seamer at 41%, right behind it a plus changeup, just over 23%. Then the sinker and the slider almost interchangeable.
Hernandez leads it off, batting right-handed, and he takes a strike on the outside edge. Irvin facing the White Sox for the first time. Changeup. Caught the bottom of the zone. It's 0-2. He's from Yorba Linda, California, near Anaheim, and pitched at the University of Oregon. Former Philly. And the A's need a good start from him. They got a pretty decent one from Paul Blackburn last night. But A's starters haven't been pitching very deep of late. 2-2 now. 6 consecutive games their starters have not completed 6 innings. Here's a 2-2, and we'll do it again.
Take a look at the defense put out there by UI Health, and this is how Bob Melvin has them this afternoon with Canna, Marte, and Brown in the outfield. Chapman, Andrews, Kemp, and Olsen in the infield. Sean Murphy's got the plate. I told you about Cole Irvin. They didn't trade a player for him. They sent cash for him to Philadelphia.
Hit hard on one hop right at the shortstop Andrews. I mean, I'd take the cash, but that's just me.
Depends on how much cash. I mean, it was 50, 60 bucks. I think that's a pretty good deal. I think it's a pretty good deal for Oakland anyway. They got a guy who is now in their starting rotation and has been all this year, and they got him and didn't have to trade a player for him. So, look, if you can get a left-hander who can get the ball over the plate, and Irvin has been able to do that, I think it's a wise investment as long as they didn't invest too many millions.
Luis Robert takes ball 1. Talked about him in the open. 6 for 8 in the series. Had the game-winning RBI last night.
Well, you get the feeling today he's going to hit a home run. Only because this appears to be a good matchup. You get a pitcher who's around the plate a lot, and Luis is starting to square things up.
Fouled that changeup.
7 games since coming back. He's only hitting .429. Scored 6, hit a couple of home runs, driven in 6. Exit velocity has been really good. So has the slugging percentage.
Weak contact on a couple of changeups for fouls, and it's 2-2.
For the most part, for the Irvin changeup, and he'll throw it much more to right-handers than left-handers, you really have to be looking away because it's going to be out there. Usually it's going to be just off the plate, and it's an ideal pitch to hit to right and right center field.
There's a ball struck well. A 1-out single for Robert.
He's at the point now where if you make any kind of mistake, that was away, he was looking away, and he hit a line drive. So he's really starting to square just about everything up, and he picked the right direction to hit it to.
It'll bring up Abreu. 11th time he has DH'd this season, and when he has DH'd, he's batted .342 with power. He likes to play first base. He's been very good at it, but every now and again Tony will get him off his feet for much of the day, and he's 13 out of 38 with 2 home runs as a DH. Nelson Cruz is still active. We'll see him in Tampa Bay this weekend, but by and large, Stoney, we're getting away from the everyday DH. A lot of teams use it now to kind of move it around the diamond and give everyday players a little bit of a breather.
I do believe unless you have a dominant guy, and Nelson Cruz is a dominant guy, you want him in that lineup as much as you can, and really he can't play defense anymore. So to maximize him, he runs out there each and every day.
1-2.
But to your reference, I mean, you're going to use that as a way to help the ball club. Get some guys some rest, get them off their feet, get some play for a few people who wouldn't normally get the 4 or 5 at bats. And probably the overwhelming amount of teams will go to that usage of the DH as opposed to just the one guy.
Decent lead by Luis. Irvin a good look at him. And still 1-2 on Abreu.
Like to see the pitches piling up. 16th on the way. There's only one out.
And he's the most efficient starter in the major leagues in terms of pitches per inning. At under 15, 14.6 pitches per frame.
What you would like to see early in this game, and Luis can do it, I'm not sure he's thinking about it now, is getting a one-way lead, meaning you get a bigger lead than normal, intending to go back to the bag and forcing the pitcher, in this case Irvin, to show you his best move, perhaps for later in the game.
Two balls, two strikes. You know, that's interesting. I've never really heard that said that well, that sometimes a pitcher can frustrate the other team by not showing his move.
If he doesn't have a great move, the best thing to do is don't show it too often. If he has a great move, show anything but for a while until they force you into that.
Just missed the inside. Good take. It's 3-2. It's the kind of pitch, if you swing at it, you might bounce into a double play anyway.
Either that or maybe foul it off the top of your foot or your instep. The question here, if Irvin is holding back his best move, he will show it to Robert here, thinking he's going to run on this pitch.
Full count with one out. And he walked him. Comes another hot White Sox hitter.
Last 13 games, he has been, if not a one-man gang, pretty close to it. He's hit 5 home runs, driven in 18. So you're hitting 400, you're doing a pretty nice job. Slugging percentage at 800 and big exit velocity. You know, that's really rare for Irvin because you're talking about probably the best control pitcher in the major leagues to this point. He had only walked 4% of the guys that he's faced this season, and that is best among all the starting pitchers. So take advantage of that. A momentary lapse in control.
Yeah, if you want to wrap up baseball in a nutshell, the most efficient guy in the league is on the mound. This will be his 19th pitch. The least efficient is Dylan Cease. And he took 8 pitches to get 3 outs. 1 ball, no strikes on Eloy.
The Sox hitters have shown some patience in this inning that they don't usually show because Irvin has been, I mean, just off the plate a bit, and our hitters are taking it.
Line shot to left. That ball's going to get to the wall. Robert will score. Abreu to third. It's a double for Eloy, and it's 1-0.
.105 miles an hour off the bat. This is a cutter inside that doesn't get there. And during our on-camera at the beginning, we highlighted what Eloy and Luis mean to this lineup. What they've done since coming back, and what they've done is give an infusion of life to everybody else. Jose no longer believes he has to do it each and every time. A couple months ago, he might not have taken that walk. Now he does. 1-0 Sox.
Infield in against Vaughn. And high, and that Sox double brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the double warranty. 20 years, 200,000 miles on every new Hyundai. See elginhyundai.com for details. Abreu at third, Jimenez at second. Here's the pitch. Missed outside. 2-0 to Vaughn, who's playing first base. Have to be really happy with what the Sox have done offensively in this series. 3-0, 5 on Monday, 9 on Tuesday, and they were able to get a couple of big hits to squeak out a 3-2 win last night. And when you score first, generally you put up an eye-popping mark, and the Sox 49-17 when they score first. Bases loaded for Moncada.
I would think Scott Emerson might be coming out. Yes, in fact he is, and the reason is he's got the best control pitcher in the major leagues who suddenly has walked 2 guys in this first inning, and before they allow this one to get away, Scott is going to tell him whatever he feels he's doing wrong. One of the things is he's just for some reason not throwing strikes this inning. He's fallen behind. That's not his game.
Well, we have a second. We want to give a shout out to our good friend Rocco Valacento. Recently had surgery and recovering at home, and he's been tuning in every night. So Rocco, we miss you. Hope to see you back soon. Big moment here as the White Sox trying to put up a crooked number in the very first inning.
They're playing Yuan as an off-field hitter. You got Marte playing much to the right of center, and now from the dugout they're waving him over more straight away.
Here we go. Called strike.
Crew with the bases loaded for Yuan has been pretty good.
Almost Pat Tabler like.
That was he was unbelievable.
He was fouled away. I want to say well over 400. And we'll see Tabby next week in Toronto. Irvin has thrown more pitches today than he had in any first inning prior to this one. So they are really making him work. 1-2. Pat Tabler hit .489 in his career with the bases loaded. I don't know why that note always stuck in my brain, but it did.
Well, you know, if you do that, you're liable to parlay that into a job in Toronto.
Roll foul, and Joe McEwing had to duck out of the way. Joe playing in because of the base runner situation, so he's not quite in that box, and he's got to be on high alert.
He wants to get to the point at third base where he can yell to Abreu to tag up or anything along those lines and still pick up Eloy on a base hit and make sure that he sees him just before he gets to the third base bag.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a big punch out for Irvin.
Well, a few times that any of the Sox hitters have gone out of the strike zone. This is not all that close to a strike, and he struck him out.
It'll be up to the lefty Goodwin, who's playing right field this afternoon. Chapman playing right between second and third, and in on the grass, and a high fly out to center, and this will get Irvin out of it. Sox do get one on the Eloy Jimenez double, plating his good friend Luis Robert. So they've got the lead after one, going for the sweep, 1-0.
I was coming off the mound. He was late getting over, so I left my glove and my hat. And then while I was going down in the dugout trying to see the trainers because I'm dealing with something, he yells at me that he needs to see my belt. So I tossed it up, and then he throws me out.
Were you expected to get tossed at that point?
No, I mean, he's late getting over there, and then I'm trying to get some work done to go back out for the fifth. And, you know, obviously I hurt his feelings.
That's Lance Lynn on his ejection. Nick Lentz gave him the heave-ho after 4 last night. And we talked about that, how they're trying to catch guys right before they go into the dugout. You might want to get them a little sooner. 1-1 on Moreland. The second inning is brought to you by Menards. And just to note, if one of the starting pitchers throws a belt today. And, you know, Cease wearing a black belt. He typically wears a white one. But Cole Irvin with a nice shiny yellow belt. Very colorful. Oh, he has a white one. Okay, I thought it was darker. How many white belts do you own, Stoney?
It's dark white.
There you go. Moreland in the air out into left center. And it'll be Aloy to grab it.
The wind today is not much of a factor, which means if you're going to hit it out, it's going to be all your own strength.
Now wait, is that a two-tone belt? I think I was fooled. I think the back of the belt might be black and the front might be white. Unless I'm seeing things. Outside for a ball. It is.
It's like the transition lenses. Depends on what angle you're at. The belt will look a different color.
We're watching this game in black and white. Strike called on Chapman, and it's 1-1.
What Dylan is trying to do is keep the early inning pitches to a minimum so that he can go deeper in this game.
Well, that's been the big thing with him, is every once in a while, and he strikes out a lot of people, works deep counts. You look up, and after 5, you go, he's dominated, but he's at 98, 99, 100 pitches.
You can see walks per 9 innings, the first 10 starts. That's tough to pitch over. The last 14 starts, that's manageable.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's his first strikeout today.
The slider, the curveball, both just getting better and better. Now he has the confidence to throw it early in the count. You see the spin on that, and if you measure his spin rate just about each and every time out, it is way above league average.
Now facing Seth Brown, and he takes low. So 6 and 7 in the A's lineup today. They go Brown Murphy. I really was hoping for Murphy Brown.
Candice Bergen couldn't show up.
Didn't play out that way, unfortunately. That's a strike. It's 1-1.
Brown hit his home run to the opposite field in last night's game. Really put a charge into it. And that was the first home run he's hit to left or left center field all year long.
Let's do some four-seam spin rate. How about Mike Minor at the top of that list?
Yeah, I mean, that's the surprising thing, because Garrett Richards doesn't have a real big fastball. The other guys do. And yet Mike Minor is leading the parade.
Two and two now on Seth Brown. The A's will head home after this one. They've got a tough weekend against their Bay Area rivals, the Giants.
Well, a whole lot of people felt that the Giants would eventually, at least by this time, give way to the Dodgers. In the meantime, they have a 3-game lead. The Dodgers have won 9 of their last 10. The Giants have won 8 of their last 10. And that lead is still pretty good.
Bouncer fair to Vaughn behind the bag, and that'll do it for the A's in the second. Enjoyed the belt talk. 1-0 Sox. For some news and notes around baseball. The Twins beat the Indians yesterday. Jorge Polanco with 3 walk-off hits this week. Yankees have won 6 in a row, including a 3-game sweep over Boston. And Shohei Ohtani went 8 innings, gave up 1 earned run, and hit his 40th home run last night in Detroit. Wow. Danny Mendick, first pitch swing. He grounds to Andrews. One away here in the Sox second.
We usually have never heard those two phrases at the same time. He went 8 innings, got the win. Oh, and he hit his 40th home run.
Ohtani leads the majors in homers, leads the AL in slugging, and leads the majors in total bases.
Not to mention he's 8-1
with a 279.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's the MVP. Just write it in. Move on to the next award. Collins in the air, deep, but it's going to stay in the yard for Seth Brown. Your 2021 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Visit rate.com to learn how the experts at Guaranteed Rate put your belief in a new home into action. If you believe, you will.
Right now, this lineup is certainly a good enough offensive lineup. However, they did let Irvin off the hook in that first inning. You know, you get a control pitcher with 2 walks. He gave up 2 hits, including a double in the first inning, and you come away with only 1 run. Better add on from there.
Slicing drive, and it'll be caught by Brown. So Irvin with a quick 1-2-3 second. 1-0 Sox after 2.
Three starts for Dylan Cease. He's 2-0 in 16 innings. He's fanned 27 guys, only walked 6. The whip is great. It's under 1. The opponent's batting average is terrific. It's under 2. So things getting better with every passing start. He really is maturing before our eyes. He was very rough and raw at the start of the season. And the pitches are getting better placed. He's got confidence in his entire repertoire, which is something he hasn't always had.
Murphy in the air to deep left. Be careful, Eloy. It's gone. And they've tied the game at 1 apiece. By the way, StatCast presented by Google Cloud on the PitchCast. So Murphy with a leadoff homer. That's their first hit and his 14th homer of the year.
The first ball fastball from Dylan Cease is something that's gotten hit a lot. Ford home run replay. First ball fastball. It's literally right down the middle, and Murphy doesn't miss it. He hits his 14th home run, drives in his 54th.
Kemp takes high. Cornerman in against the speedster. And he lifts one in the air out into left center. And they come together for the first time this year. Just a matter of time, but Robert made the play.
Well, hopefully Eloy is okay. I mean, that is getting tedious, actually. When you got a Gold Glover to your left and he calls for the ball, you've got to give way. And Eloy doesn't seem to understand that for some reason or another. And he goes limping away after the near collision.
Yeah, 2 large humans. Don't want anybody to get hurt on that.
Well, one's an elite defender and the other is Eloy. So he's got to give way when that happens.
Now Andrews takes wide, ball 1. Nice slider to make it 1-1. In the dirt that time. Lights have been on. Overcast conditions at the moment.
It's just off to our right. You could have made that play. I'm pretty sure of that.
That one was not hit with as much hair on it as we normally see. Out of self-preservation, I might have gone after it, but that's about it.
And usually it's best to get out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not leaving my feet. Served out into center, and Robert will grab it. Your 2021 White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Visit rate.com to learn how the experts at Guaranteed Rate put your belief in a new home into action. If you believe, you will. Here's Canna. Popped to short to lead off the game. Fastball just wide to start it. Sox are 4-2 on this homestand. 42-22 at home. That's the best home record in the American League.
Canna made one of the big outs in the ball game last night. Flew out to center field with runners at second and third. Liam Hendricks in the 8th inning, a minimum of pitches, which set up a 3-strikeout 1-2-3-9.
Now there were a few A's hitters who probably left the ballpark with a little regret last night. Jed Lowry, who's been great with runners in scoring position, struck out twice early in RBI spots. It happens. And it takes a strike. It's 3-1. Dylan ready for a 3-1. And he walked him.
Explore the city with Chicago today this week. Matt and Courtney head to Oakbrook to play a little polo. Catch all the fun tomorrow morning at 11:30 on NBC5.
Marte, the subject of a Fangraphs piece today about his walk rate, which has been way above his career mark this year. And the most interesting thing to note is that he's not swinging nearly as much when he's ahead in the count. So he's been accepting his walks instead of expanding when ahead. And he's actually not swinging as much as pitches in the zone even when he's ahead, and you could make the case maybe he should swing more. But you hit on it earlier. You know, the added walks have been enormous for him because of his speed.
Yeah, I mean, he's really difficult to throw out, and so when he gets on, it's the equivalent of throwing a double. That's why being more patient is a good thing. This combination of Cease and Collins is pretty good to run against. Dylan has allowed 15 stolen bases this year. That's 3rd in the major leagues.
Runner at first, 2 outs. Well, Marte ahead in the count. He did swing and fouled it away. 2-1. Generally, it is not always the case. Your walk rate Doesn't change a ton once you've had a ton of at bats at this level. Swing and a miss, 2-2. You're not all of a sudden going to become Joey Votto if you're a guy who swings at everything. You think of some examples, Sammy Sosa, and that might have been as a result of all the home runs he hit. His team started to work around him. His walk rate went way up later in his career.
Sammy also learned how to hit the high fastball because Jeff Pentland gave him a toe tap that literally turned around his career. Because early, he couldn't touch a high fastball, and later on, he very rarely missed one.
That's high, and it's 3-2. So it will be go time for Canna. Yeah, there you see that walk percentage, over 10% for Marte this year. And he takes a called third, and no argument. The slider freezes him. They tie it on the Murphy home run, but the red-hot Luis Robert will lead off the bottom of the third for the Sox in a 1-1 tie. Unfortunately, Robert made the catch. Nobody got hurt. And we go back to last year, and look, there was nobody in the stands, so a little easier to hear on the communication as Luis cut in front of him, and Roy said, "You got it." Ball one on Robert. On the ground at third, Chapman for the out.
Fellow Red Sox insider Vinny Duber at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because
Nationwide is on your side.
Wow.
Abreu walked his first time. My radio partner Darren Jackson talks a lot about outfield communication, and he said one issue guys have is when you're yelling "I got it," it's hard to hear the other guy yelling "I got it." And the thing he did as a center fielder was, you might yell "I got it, I got it, I got it," is he would keep yelling it. That eventually somebody would stop yelling it. And I don't know what their cues are out there, but
well, whatever it is, we certainly need both of those guys healthy for as long as this season is going to run, because you've seen how destructive both are swinging the bat.
Cued foul past first.
Irvin's starting to get much more command than he had in that first inning, which was the opportunity to really jump on him. He was able, after a visit by Scott Emerson, to get two big outs, Moncada and Goodwin, and get out with just a run.
Two on Abreu with Eloy on deck. Way up in the air for Brown, and he'll make the grab. Join us at Guaranteed Rate Field for the Run Your Socks Off 5K presented by Guaranteed Rate on Saturday, September 18th. Racers will cross the finish line on the field, followed by a post-race party presented by Michelob Ultra on the concourse. A portion of the proceeds will benefit White Sox charities, and the Guaranteed Rate Foundation. Learn more at whitesox.com/run. Strike called. The White Sox earlier today announced cumulative charitable donations of more than $1.8 million over the past year, including $637,000 in grants to 30 Chicagoland nonprofit organizations through the White Sox Community Fund. Great stuff. High fly to center. Tracking it is Marte, now camping, and that'll do it. Sox go in order in the third. It's a 1-1 tie.
A good team this month,
but nowhere near as good as our White Sox as they run away with the division lead and keep us entertained as they do.
Feel better, Jason. And now back to the booth.
All right. Wonder how those Wheaties taste 16 years later. Take the year of the first meeting between the A's and Sox, subtract the number of postseason home runs Harold Baines hit for the A's, add Connie Mack's age when he had his last win as a manager against the White Sox. The fourth inning is sponsored by Elk Grove Village, proud to support makers and dreamers. Learn more at makerswanted.org. Foul strike on Matt Olson.
That's not an easy Sox math question.
No. Well, they've gotten a little more difficult as the week has moved along. Nice job on the video, by the way. They didn't have a lot of time with the day game after a night game.
But the important part is it was a short turnaround and they did get their rest as well as their video.
Two strikes on the A's first baseman. Make it 3 strikes. Third punch out for Dillon.
Dillon threw a slider that didn't do a great deal, but it certainly was enough. He had also swinging under it. What we haven't seen is the real good Cease curveball yet. Maybe he just doesn't have a feel for it. When he does, it's really effective against left-hand hitters because it's straight over the top, breaks so quickly, and the spin is so great that they can't possibly square it up.
Moreland 0 for 1. I don't know if you can articulate when you say doesn't have a good feel for his curveball. What? It feels like a physical thing, right? Is it just certain days, certain pitches feel better than others?
Yes, very much so. And it has to come to you, and he just threw one to Moreland, which is good on the first strike.
Line, and that'll get down in front of Goodwin.
He followed it up with a slider that wound up in right field. But yeah, first of all, if you have a good slider and a good curveball, it's very rare on the same day you're going to have both pitches come to you at the same time. Occasionally pitchers will have that, more times than not they won't, and so you have to, by throwing it consistently, you'll get that feel for both of them. You'll always lean on one a little bit more than the other. Some days it's the curve, some days it's the slider. With Dillon, he has much more confidence in location with the slider than the curveball.
And generally it is easier to get that pitch where you want it with the tighter break.
And years ago, there were a lot of high fastball, big curveball pitchers, but it was so difficult to get a called strike. It spawned a generation of sinker slider pitchers because they were easier to throw in the zone. Now we're seeing people move away from the sinker, going to the high four-seamer again, and it's just a matter of time until, to complement the four-seam high fastball, they start throwing over-the-top curveballs again.
A little swinging bunt, and Cease falls down. The throw pulls Vaughn off first. And Dillon not happy as he lost his footing.
Turned out to be a little difficult for Dillon, and it should be easy. And this is the second time in as many days we've seen Sox players fall down. That one way off the mark, and for Andrew Vaughn, he does what he has to do as a first baseman, and that's the ball is the priority, not the bag. Go get the baseball and it goes as a base hit.
So 2 on for a power threat in Seth Brown. I remember talking or hearing John Smoltz talk about going from a starter to closer and how, like Dylan maybe today with his curveball as a starter, you had time to kind of rescue one of your big pitches over the course of 5, 6, 7 innings. He said, when I became a closer, my slider wasn't good. I'm not throwing it. The game ends if it's a bad one that day.
He became quite a closer.
In the dirt, knocked down by Collins.
Same thing was true with Dennis Eckersley, who went from a quality starter to a Hall of Fame reliever, Hall of Fame closer, because he, unlike most, had pinpoint control each and every time out. I mean, you could go full season, you might see 3 walks from Eckersley.
Two on, 1 away in a 1-1 tie. And Brown went around.
That's that curveball, and again, it breaks so sharply that a hitter can't see the spin until it's too late. I mean, that pitch bounce looks like 3 feet in front of home plate, and Brown still went around on it.
Kick and the 1-2, a swing and a miss for the second out. Both have been strikeouts here in the 4th.
This is a big pitch. He buries a slider down and in. Got Brown swinging over the top.
Now faces Murphy, who homered to lead off the 3rd. First time Dylan Cease has faced the A's in the regular season. Did work an inning of relief in the wild card round last year. So the only guy he had faced previously in this lineup was the former Ranger Elvis Andrus. One ball and no strikes to Murphy.
Now he's starting to throw that curveball a bit more. Outfield straight away, as is the infield. No bias to one side or the other.
'98, but wide. Dangerous count here. 3 balls and a strike.
Tony Kemp in the on deck circle.
The 3-1 to Murphy is outside to load the bases. Family Sundays are back at Guaranteed Rate Field with tickets starting at $10. Parking for only $10. Bring your family out to the ballpark for a full day of fun. Family Sundays are proudly presented by Coca-Cola. Visit whitesox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today.
Ethan Katz out to the mound to have a little talk with his pitcher, the catcher, and as it turns out, the entire infield. One of the things you still can't take for granted, especially if you're Moncada at one corner and Vaughn at the other, the possibility of Kemp bunting, because speed is a big part of his game.
So Vaughn and Hernandez will play back on the right side. Moncada in at third. And a curve right in the middle for a strike.
A lot of pressure will fall to Zach Collins, because if he calls a slider or a curveball, if it's a wipeout pitch, a lot of those wind up in the dirt. Able to make sure that one didn't get by.
He's trying to preserve this tie here in the fourth. Two and one on Tony Kemp.
Carew with the bases loaded has been pretty good.
The pitch. Chop wide of first and make it 2-2.
Well, if Dillon has confidence in that curveball, he'll get him with it here.
Fouled back on a slider. A's have lost 4 in a row. Still right now very much in the wild card race and in the American League West race, just 2.5 back of Houston. The 2-2 to Kemp, moved his feet, and it's full.
He's had more confidence in the slider. He threw 2 in a row and missed with both.
Kemp does not stand deep in the box. Runners will go here on 3-2, but Kemp asks for time again. Big 3-2 coming, and he walked him. And it's 2-1 Oakland. Base is still loaded now. Elvis Andrus.
Way above his head on a fastball, and Ethan is not particularly happy.
High again, ball 1 on Andrus.
Since Dillon slipped, maybe that extreme concentration that every pitcher really needs has been somewhat divided.
Andrus hitting just .229 on the year. And a foul strike, and it's 1-1. Andrews debuted with Texas back in '09. He was just 20 years old. He's now 32 and will soon turn 33. A chop to the shortstop Mendick, and the throw will beat Andrews. They do get a run on the bases loaded free pass. It's 2-1 A's, and Andrew Vaughn has been in a hot stretch of late. Well, bat first in the bottom of the fourth. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, Andrew Vaughn's home runs. So by pitch type. And to all fields as he leads it off. Sox are down for the first time in this game, 2-1. And Cole Irvin, who just had needed an inning or two to get comfortable on an unfamiliar mound, has been good here since that rough first. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Because Irvin stays away so much, Marte, seemingly on every hitter, is around toward right center.
High fly out into center. Marte drifting back. And just on the edge of the warning track, he'll haul it in. Got a Sox math winner. 1986. That was a fun year.
It's a great year.
Connie Mack was 87. And he picked up his last win against the White Sox.
I wonder if he went out to the mound to take a pitcher out.
Moncada serves one into right for a 1-out single.
This is really the approach you have to use. Just look away, reach out, and take it that way, because we've seen today probably 4 out of every 5 pitches have been away, and when he does come in, he tries to come in off the plate.
Moncada with a modest 6-game hitting streak. Here's Goodwin. First pitch swing. And he's going to make an out as it's caught by Canna.
See how he reaches out, has his head down, goes right with it, doesn't try to pull that. If you try to pull that one, you ground to the left side.
Danny Mendick 0 for 1. He's playing short today for Tim. 15th time he has started at short, 43rd time overall.
This is the kind of guy that Danny would have success with because he's not going to overswing against him.
Each team with 3 hits so far. It's 0-2.
Tim with the day off today. He certainly will be ready in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you got an all-turf road trip coming up, Tampa Bay and Toronto. So Tim gets off his feet this afternoon. Craig Kimbrell was not here yesterday attending the funeral of his grandfather. He is back today. Liam Hendriks not available, so a safe spot. It would be Kimbrell for the Sox. Ripped into right. Second hit of the inning.
Then he makes a little contact and does what he should do. You don't try to pull it, you go with it, and now there's 2 on and 2 out. Kind of an inside-out swing, but he's not looking to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's looking to make some contact, and it turns into goal.
as Collins 0 for 1.
Yeah, the irony with Zach is I know he's not getting any hits. Nobody knows that better than him. However, he's hitting the ball pretty well. He's hitting a lot of deep flies that just haven't been able to make it out of the ballpark. So usually when you're making good contact, the base hits will come. This would be a nice time for him.
I agree. He has had better at bats than the numbers would indicate of late. And fouls out of play off to the left.
Well, great catch up in one of the suites. Nice effort. Talk about, and we have the good fielding fandom the Sox have. There's an example.
Tying run at second with 2 outs. Sinker in.
Yeah, this was not an easy one. This came up there with something on it.
A very vociferous high five, too.
Nick Marley says no, he did not swing, so Zach's ahead in the count.
Always a big swing pitch, that 1-1. Now advantage batter. The kick and the pitch and another foul.
Catch the game on NBC Sports Chicago and enjoy a Miller Lite at one of the bars of the week. Conveniently found at NBCSportsChicago.com/bars of the week. Always remember, celebrate responsibly.
Two on Collins. Here it comes. Another foul. Cleveland not in action today. Detroit's got a 9-2 lead over the Angels, bottom of the 5th at Comerica Park. Tigers are a game and a half out of second currently. Kansas City trying to sweep the Astros in a 4-game series. Royals lead 3-1, bottom 4. Royals are a game behind the Twins for 4th place. Twins are at Yankee Stadium tonight.
Best part about this is the runners will be going. Means if Zach can split a gap, Danny Mendick will have a good shot to score from first.
Runners go. Collins fouls. Warm and a bit muggy today. Overcast conditions. Three-two on Collins. They're loaded for Cesar Hernandez.
Last time up, Hernandez hit one right down the line, and somewhat amazingly, Brown was playing over toward the line. Now leaves a big gap in right center, but he was able to make the catch. He's right now 40 feet off the line, which is something you don't usually see with a right-hand hitter up.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Hernandez lines out toward left, coming in and making the catch is Canna. Just held up too long, and they leave him loaded. Auto Group. Eloy Jimenez with a first inning double, scoring Luis Robert. Sox had a chance for more though in that inning. Cole Irvin got out of it with no further damage. Sean Murphy a leadoff homer in the 3rd to tie it, and then Tony Kemp took a bases loaded walk in the 4th. So it's 2-1 A's. White Sox very much in this game, and that's the way it usually goes. The Sox are always in every game.
Well, the Sox have had a couple of opportunities to put runs on the board have failed at this point. Long way to go in this one, and hopefully Dillon gets his concentration back and holds the A's right there at 2.
It will be the top of the order. Canna, Marte, and Olson. Slider strike. The 5th inning is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Straight up on the infield. Out toward left in the outfield. They give him room in right center. Cutting a miss on a slider. It's 0-2 on Mark Canna. Cease trying to put him away. Outside on a fastball. Canna usually steps out.
Yeah, I'm not sure how loose your gloves can get after one pitch, but got to tighten the gloves, get his stroke down a little bit. Actually, he is truly trying to aggravate the pitcher. That's one of the reasons why he does all of this.
In the dirt. Canna has a very specific pregame ritual: coffee with chocolate almond milk. And Wade Boggs, right? Ate chicken every day before the game.
Every day. I'm not sure how coffee works, but I know for Wade Boggs the chicken worked really well.
It did.
Because he could really hit.
Swing and a miss. Canna decided late to go after the slider, and he missed it for strike 3.
Hey, White Sox fans, Xfinity Mobile delivers fast nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. So break free from the big 3 and save with Xfinity Mobile.
Here's Marte with 1 out, nobody on. He has flied to center and struck out looking. Foul tip, strike 1.
Broke out a straight change for one of the few times today. Just barely missed with it. Marte was completely fooled. You're here in the 5th inning, you haven't seen a straight change to anybody, and now you see one, you're probably not going to be able to pull a trigger.
Laced foul to right. Mentioned the Tigers blowing out the Angels 10-2 after 5. Miguel Cabrera 2 for 3 with 4 driven in, but he has not homered. Tigers have 3 home runs today. He is still looking for number 500. That was a Jose Quintana start, and Jose could only get 4 outs. He gave up 5 earned runs. ERA right now almost 7. And a real tough go for Jose in his first year with the Angels. Fouled out of play off to the right.
Angels already designated Adam Eaton for assignment, so he will be looking for other employment.
Pitch number 80 on the way from Cease.
But he hit him up with a fastball, and Zach Collins wanted it inside. Dillon threw it down and out of the zone. He got him looking on a slider last time in the 3rd inning in a similar situation.
And he walked him. Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night, Friday, September 10th, presented by Cerveza Modelo. The first 10,000 fans 21 and older will receive a Sugar Skull bobblehead. Be sure to stay for the post-game fireworks show. Modelo Especial. Come for the diamond, stay for the gold. Tickets start at as low as $10. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/NHH.
Dylan better go to the slide step because Marte will be running early in this count.
We'll check on him over there. That plate appearance really says it all. Marte, generally, prior to this year, that 3-2 pitch he would have swung at, and he might have made contact, but he's taking those pitches just off the plate for ball 4 much more often this year. Long hold. Marte not running. Swing and a miss by Olson.
He was intent on going that time, but he kind of spun his wheels. He realized he didn't get the kind of jump he wanted, so he went back. We're going to watch it again and watch him. He starts to go and then, nope, not quick enough.
Trailing Whit Merrifield by just 1 for the major league lead, and it's really just those 2 guys and everybody else at this point. Baked again towards second. And meanwhile, Matt Olson down 0-2.
Got him swinging at a breaking ball last time. That was leading off last inning.
A liner out to Jimenez, and he'll make the catch. Back on the warning track. That ball started to carry quite a bit. 2 down.
That was a nice play by Aloy, who was measuring that all the way. The ball was slicing. It was hit awfully hard, and he stayed right with it. Nice effort.
Mitch Moreland with 2 outs. That liner by Olson kind of reminded me. Remember the name Ryan Klesko? There goes Marte, and he's going to make it. Unless he overslid the bag, which he did not.
At 16 stolen bases of Dylan Cease this year.
Marte has 35 this season.
If you don't use some sort of modified slide step, odds of getting Marte are very slim. Now, he goes in with his left hand and he hits Danny Mendick's shoe. He did not have the bag at that point, but then he wrapped his body around it and was safe at second.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Now Ryan Klesko, longtime Brave and Padre, left-handed hitter. He could hit those little 1-iron liners that would go all the way to the wall. And that ball off the bat of Olson kind of reminded me of Klesko. We didn't talk much about exit velocity back then, but I'm sure he hit a few that were 110 plus. High fly out into center for Robert. And he's got it. A's don't score in the 5th. They lead 2-1. tune. Luis Robert leads off the Sox fifth. They're down 2-1. And a high fly to right. Seth Brown has it. Time for a preview of what's to come on White Sox Post Game Live, presented by Subaru with Chuck and Ozzie. Thank you, Chuck. Ozzie. And Brady takes a strike.
In the third inning, this was a very quick 1-2-3 inning with the same hitters, Robert Abreu and Eloy.
Sharply hit. And Chapman's got time. And a cannon.
All you got to do if you play third base and you have a strong enough arm, just stay in front of it. You can knock it down as long as it doesn't trickle away. You're going to be in good shape, and he throws probably better than anybody in baseball. It's the heel of the glove, but it stays in front, and then forget about outrunning that arm.
Effortless. So now Jimenez. Fastball in.
That's more of a show me pitch than anything for where he really wants to get him out, which is away. But Eloy has enough power to take it out that way.
Favorable count for Jimenez. 2 balls, no strikes. Maybe something in his eye. Hard to hit when you can't see.
Very humid day today. It's not overly warm, but humidity in the 70% range. And I think Tony gives him the 3-0 green light here. If he gets something to his liking, he will at least have the sign to unload on one.
Well, as he looks at the pitcher, all he sees is green. Didn't give him a chance to swing. Well, Matt Chapman made one of the best catches you'll ever see by an infielder ranging into the outfield. This is at Texas. Watch this one.
It doesn't get much better than that. He has to go across his body for the swipe play. That's as good as it gets.
Vaughn with a man on and 2 down. And he chops one off his leg.
Last time up, he just missed hitting it out. Chasing Marte all the way back to the track in right center field.
They give Andrew room down the left field line. And that ball is hit off the net above the A's dugout. 0-2. Tampa Bay with a 7-1 lead late over Baltimore. And the Orioles are staring at what would be their 15th straight loss. Drilled deep left field, and it is gone! And the Sox have the lead.
After almost hitting it out last time in right center, this time he hit it out in straightaway left field. It looked for one of the few times that Irvin wanted to get inside on him. Turned out to be a monumental mistake as the A's give up the lead. Ford home run replay. That's a cutter that he tried to get inside, and he just reaches down, gets it, put a charge into it. His 15th home run. He's driven in 42. and a line drive rocket just enough.
Moncada taps foul on a check swing. Eloy with the 4-pitch walk to keep the inning alive, and then Vaughn with a big 2-run blast. Up the middle for his second hit.
Looked to me with Irvin, he was pitching around Eloy with a 1-run lead. He knew he could do him a whole lot of damage, and he felt a rookie coming up behind him, he would be better served to pitch to him. Sometimes you make a good plan and it doesn't work out very well for you, and this one did not work out very well for Irvin. Trying to make his bid for Rookie of the Year, and he's piling up the numbers.
Ball 1 to Goodwin. He's flying to center and to left so far. Lined and caught. What a leaping stab by Matt Olson to end the inning. Andrew Vaughn with a 2-run bullet into the bleachers and left. And the Sox have the lead. It's 3-2 after 5.
Yeah, and you're going to look at how trades are made, how guys are drafted. Look at the spin rate. Average 24-25 on sliders. Dylan Cease is perpetually way above that in spin rate on that slider. I mean, that's 29-22. That's really impressive. You continue that way, you get late break, and most likely you will win a lot of games in the major leagues. And there it is. He's the best there is with Adams, McCullers, who we've seen, Richards and Musgrove right behind him.
Underway here in the 6th. The strike called on Chapman. Sox lead for the second time today. High fly ball, and it will get out of here. We're tied again, 3-3. Second home run of the series for Matt Chapman.
'19th of the year. He's driven in 37. And the second home run of the day for the A's. We'll take another look. Ford home run replay. That was a slider that didn't do a whole lot. Stayed pretty much on the outer third, and Chapman got most of it. First time today it looks like the Sox bullpen is starting to stir.
And ball 1 on Seth Brown. The 6th inning brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade Seltzer. So both homers for the A's have led off innings. Murphy in the 3rd, Chapman here in the 6th. That'll be the shortstop Mendick to make the play on the other side of second. Ryan Burr is the right-hander up for the White Sox. The batter is Murphy. He has homered and walked. And a foul strike. Oh, and 2 on Murphy.
Good thing to try to stay away from him because we've seen his power normally as a pull hitter.
See, Murphy's got the catcher's card on his left forearm. It'd be fun if Zach just said, "Hey, can I see how you guys are pitching me today?" No thanks.
Get a picture of it. And he fell off the mound that time. So this is one of the things that it's pretty tough to work on this one aspect of the game, but Dillon goes from 0-2 to 3-2, more than any pitcher I've seen. Looks like he tries to make the absolute perfect pitch and then winds up with a pitch of decision that if it leads to a walk, you start to have some problems.
On the ground to the shortstop, Mendick. Decide baseball's biggest blooper, and you can win your own error-free fan experience. Fill out your MLB Oops bracket, presented by Mattress Firm at MLB.com/bracket for your chance to win. Restrictions apply. See official rules. 2 outs now. Tony Kemp. Bases loaded walk, gave him an RBI in the 4th. Moncada way in at 3rd. And that ball hooked on the ground, foul.
If Dillon gets out of this one, most likely this will be the last inning for him. He's thrown it pretty well today. And he would get out with the game tied at 3. But first things first.
The 1-1 home. We'll get back out of play. So far, Cease and Irvin have gone the distance. Tied at 3 in the 6th inning.
The sun is trying to peek its way out from the clouds, turning into a very nice day.
Hoisted into center. Here comes Robert. And that's probably it for Cease. It's 3-3 midway in the 6th. Hit here in the 6th inning against Cole Irvin. First pitch strike to Danny Mendick. 8-9-1 for the home team. And there is some action in the A's bullpen as this inning starts. Kemp is out. Brown is in. It'll be the outfielder to make the grab.
Today's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Since 1945, Marquette Bank has worked to improve the lives of neighbors, families, and business owners. They're a modern neighborhood bank with online banking, mobile banking, and digital home financing. Better than that, they're a bank that cares about your success in our communities. Discover neighborhood banking that feels good at emarquettebank.com.
The catcher Collins 0 for 1 with a walk. And a liner into right and a base hit.
swinging it as well as he's been swinging it. We talked last time about the fact that the base hits have got to start coming. He drew a base on balls last time up in the 4th, and this time a line drive rocket to right. And that's the go-ahead run at first base. Chapman is way back at third base.
Strike called on Hernandez. He's lined out twice, grounded out once. After a high one, it's 0-2. Michael Kopech is up in the Sox bullpen. It's a baseball game. Anything can happen, but if you start to envision what October baseball might look like if you're in a 3-3 game in the 6th on a day like this, you feel pretty good with what bullpen you have left.
And the bullpen up and going. We've seen him once in this series. He has Miro, Petit.
Double play ball. And that'll do it. We'll go to the 7th. It's 3-3. The Illinois Department of Transportation.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Michael Kopech. Last time we saw him 3 games ago, he was brilliant. On for the 30th time, the ERA below 2.5. 67 strikeouts and 48 in the 3rd, just 20 walks. Left-handers, right-handers. They haven't squared him up very easily at all. So in a tie ball game, this game now belongs to the bullpen.
Andrus will lead it off. He just started an inning-ending 6-4-3 to get the A's out of the 6th. He'll be followed by Canna and Marte. Good start. Andrus hits one on the ground. Diving stop by Vaughn. High throw over Kopech. It will stay in play.
That's a mistake by Andrew because he didn't know where Hernandez was set up. He ranged so far off the bag that it made it a really difficult play to coordinate between him and Michael Kopech. If he lets his ball go, Hernandez has got it easily. And you got to know where that guy to your right is at all times. Andrew hasn't been over at first base very much, throws it away. It goes as a base hit, and that is the go-ahead run.
We'll bring up Canna with a man on, nobody out. Big lead already by Andrus. Called strike. And Elvis can run. He's got 10 steals.
Maybe not quite as fast as he once was, but he's only been caught stealing twice this year. Opponents 18 for their last 18 against the Sox in stolen base attempts.
Yeah, you used to be able to count on 25 plus per year from Elvis Andrus. It's high on a slider. Stretch by Kopech. Swing and a miss on the slider. 1-2.
This is a dandy. Kept moving away off the plate. Kind of committed and then no contact.
Andrews takes off. That pitch got by, and Canna is automatically out, as Andrews will end up at second base. So one away, runner at second.
They're giving him a stolen base. We'll watch it again. Canna did not check his swing, and Andrews was going. That's why they give him the bag. Now he's in scoring position.
Yeah, with a runner at first, less than 2 outs, batter automatically out in that spot. Broken bat roller to third, surrounded by Moncada, and he gets Marte.
Time now for the Xfinity Mobile high-speed action, and it's the day of Dylan Cease. Made a couple of mistakes, but all in all threw very well. The slider was exceptional today. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs on only 4 hits, but he walked 4 and fanned 5. So he had some very good moments. He left with a tie game, and Michael Kopech trying to keep it that way. And you figure out who you'd rather face, Olson or Moreland. They're 2 left-hand hitters. Moreland's in the on-deck circle.
Swing and a miss. Well, you want to face the guy you get out. It's easy, right?
That's a good plan. Yeah, make sure whoever it is you face, you get him out.
I'll tell you after the inning who he should face. The 0-1. And the A's have the lead again. A 2-run blast by Olson. He got all of it.
Well, that's a guy with now 31 home runs, and the guy coming up's got 10. And this guy just put Oakland up by 2. We'll watch it again. Ford home run replay. That was a slider, stayed in the middle of the plate, and Olson with big power took it way out of the park.
So their 3rd home run. And the first with a man on base in a while. Snapped a streak of 14 consecutive solo homers by this Oakland ball club.
31 and 81 on the power numbers for Olson.
One and 1 to Moreland. Pitch. Fly down the left field side. Racing over is Aloy, but he will not have a play. Angels coming back in Detroit. It's 10-8 Tigers. They're in the 7th. Tampa Bay did beat Baltimore 7-2. The Rays 3 games ahead of the White Sox going into action today for the best record in the AL. 1-2 home, hit on the ground to Hernandez in shallow right. Stretch time, 2-run homer, Olson, 5-3 A's.
Presented by First Midwest Bank. And it's been the long ball that's really told the tale today for Oakland. And this was the big one. The 2-run homer, giving Oakland the lead and turning it over to Yasmero Petit. Now for the 60th time, that leads the major leagues in appearances. He's got 16 holds. ERA a little above 3.25. We've seen him in the series, and he was not at his best that day.
Facing Luis Robert. And a wide one for ball one. On a bounce, it's Chapman again for the out.
Well, you gotta try somebody else. That guy is just too good. This was another one-hop rocket, and somehow, flawlessly, he picks everything. Once he makes that play, the rest is easy. But what a pick that was.
Brings up Jose with one out. Curve missed. 1-0. Lucas Giolito will pitch tomorrow night in St. Pete against Michael Wacha. It's Dallas Keuchel, Luis Patino, a right-hander, on Saturday, and Reynaldo Lopez scheduled to work on Sunday. The Rays have yet to announce a starter. Sox are hoping to get Carlos Rodon back in the rotation in Toronto at some point.
Yeah, they're thinking about right around the 23rd, which would be very nice to welcome him back. But in his place, Reynaldo Lopez has been just brilliant.
Foul tip, it's 1-2.
There's Carlos, leisurely day today.
And the dirt kicks away. Malloy on deck. See Petit, he's got to work those edges with a fastball that's just 89.
He's had good control for a long time. He seems to bounce back and forth in the Bay Area. Fit for both teams, no problem. And as durable as they get.
Well, nobody's worked more often than he has this year, 60 times. Abreu pops it up. It'll be Olson, the first baseman, for out number 2.
What's on the menu for tonight? Let's check in with NBC5's food guy.
Tonight, the food guy, Steve Dolinsky, is checking out one of the hottest restaurants in the Fulton Market, a merge between Italian and Croatian cuisine. The Top Chef champ takes us inside his kitchen. Tonight at 10 on NBC5.
I want all of that.
It's a good combination.
Look delicious. Malloy with 2 outs. Takes up and in. Looks like Chapin, the lefty, is up for the A's. And I think Ryan Burr again for the Sox.
See if Malloy can keep this alive for Andrew Vaughn, who's been swinging it very well today.
Up the middle, Kemp was on the other side of the bag, but plenty of time to get there, and the Sox go in order against Petit. 5-3 A's late.
And ends after the ball game. Team will head down to Tampa Bay and then 4 with Toronto before coming back here for a weekend series with the Cubs. That's a look ahead into what will be a very difficult schedule. Ryan Burr comes into the ball game on for the 21st time. His ERA at 2.70. Last time we saw him, he was throwing it pretty well, as a matter of fact. In relief of Ronaldo Lopez, he threw 2 scoreless innings, gave up a couple of hits.
His job is to keep the A's right where they are. They'll face Chapman, Brown, and Murphy. Chapman tied it up with a homer in the 6th inning. And then Olsen gave the A's the lead with a homer in the 7th. Burr out of the stretch exclusively. Slider strike. A lot of sliders and cutters from Ryan. And a fastball at 95. 0-2. He's already thrown him all 3 of his main weapons. Let's see what he has in store here on 1-2. And he got him on a cutter. And Chapman will head back to the dugout after strike 3.
Didn't run to first, and so Zach Collins looked at Bruce Dreckman and said, "Do I have to throw down?" Bruce said no, he's abandoned the position. Nice stop, unfortunately, right off the bicep of Zach. Kicked around a bit, but he's able to corral it as Chapman walks back slowly.
Brown 0 for 3. The 0-1. Fouled over the backstop. 0-2.
Well, you mentioned that Baltimore did lose today to Tampa Bay. It's hard to believe. You look at 15 losses in a row, but even more dazzling, run differential of -227. Ooh. Pretty tough go when you're 38-82, as the Orioles are.
Yeah, they had a 14-game skid in the first half as well. That's high on a fastball, and it's 1-2. Orioles are 36 games out. Fouled back. And the Rays are 75-47, and they will wait on the White Sox starting tomorrow night.
Well, you look at their numbers, they're dominant at home. They're 39-22, but they're pretty good on the road also. They're 11 over on the road at 36-25.
Scoring a ton of runs. Should be a fun series. Swing and a miss. Brown strikes out.
Good biting slider. Nice stop by Zach Collins, and 2 up, 2 strikeouts.
Murphy takes low.
Pretty good production. 14 and 54.
One guy to note going into that Rays series, Mike Zunino, an all-star, will go into that series with a 5-game home run streak.
He's one of those guys that you look at the average and you go, well, not a great year. Then you look at the run production, the home runs especially.
26.
Yeah, he's been pretty tough.
2-1 to the A's catcher, Sean Murphy.
Thing is, you never really know when the light is going to turn on, because look, Seattle had him. He was a #1 draft pick. They were waiting for him to be the dominant catcher they thought he was when they drafted him. Well, now the light has turned on in Tampa Bay.
3-1. Tony Kemp on deck. Sox will have Vaughn, Moncada, and Goodwin due in the bottom of the 8th. Guessing it'll be the lefty Chafin, who is ready in the A's bullpen. That is ball 4. And time now for a message for Powering Chicago.
Do you have electrical work you need done at your home or business? Visit poweringchicago.com and click the Find a Contractor button. On time, on budget, done the right way every time. Powering Chicago, IBEW Local 134, NECA, Chicago.
Kemp has flied out twice and walked with the bases loaded. Fastball missed. Liam Hendricks is playing catch out in the bullpen, but I do not believe he's available today. 2-0. But for Liam, not being available doesn't mean he can't throw the ball. And he loves to play catch.
Yeah, he's not coming into this 2 runs down, but there's still 6 outs to go.
Fastball high, 3 balls, no strikes. Moncada in at third, back in the middle. Vaughn holding the runner Murphy at first. Cease, Kopech, and Burr for the Sox today. And that's back-to-back 2-out walks, and we'll bring up Andrews.
Ethan Katz coming out to have a chat.
Join us Tuesday, August 31st. The White Sox will host the Pittsburgh Pirates at 7:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans will take home a Change the Game t-shirt. For tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos.
Meeting is over. Bruce Dreckman went out there to break it up. Becomes a pretty big out in this one. You cannot allow them another run on the lead.
So Murphy at second, Kemp at first. And Brewers' offer to Andrews is a called strike. The kick and the pitch. It's low.
Jose Ruiz getting loosened up in a hurry.
Who thought it was a strike? Bruce Dreckman did not. Mariners still in the playoff chase. Seattle leading at Texas 6-2, bottom 7. Trying to get to 10 games over 500. Andrews chased a low cutter. It's 2-2. Burr has a sign from Collins. Here comes the 2-2. And a bounding ball to Hernandez, who backed up and able to throw him out. Sox bat in the 8th, down 2. Perfect for family reunions, fundraisers, and more. Plus, it's the best way to save on single game prices for your group. After all, White Sox games are better with a group. For more info, call or text 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
And their pitcher in the ball game, it is Andrew Chafin. On for the 53rd time. That's combined with the Cubs and the A's. ERA terrific at 166. Sox have seen him. He went an inning, gave up a couple of hits, but induced a double play ground ball.
Tenth time with the A's. And he'll face Vaughn, Moncada, and Goodwin. A 2-run homer in the 5th gave the White Sox their second lead of the day. The A's now have the advantage. 5-3 late. 2-0. Works from the third base side of the rubber. And the pitch missed again.
Pretty short bench today for Tony La Russa. If he sticks with his tendency, which is Tim Anderson getting a day off, not going to play today. You got Lamb and Zavala.
That is a leadoff walk.
Good way to do it. Go on with a couple of hits, now represents the tying run. Trevino throwing in the bullpen, and he has been a pretty good closer for them, but Bob Melvin doesn't want to bring him on for a 6-out close.
It has never been statistically proven that a leadoff walk is better for an offense than a leadoff single, or worse for a pitcher, but it feels that way.
Yeah, I would say that any way he gets on, when you have to face the tying run, not a good thing for you.
Strike called on Moncada, who's 2 out of 3 today. Well, look at that.
Kent State alum. 320. Well, you got a couple of good years left. Never know.
How many years of eligibility you have left? A couple?
Oh, of eligibility at Kent? Probably one, but I'm talking about the major leagues.
Chafin will lob over. What was your favorite class in college? You remember?
I do. I was a
Don't say Jim.
No, I was a history and government major, and I was a phys ed minor. For some reason, I liked anatomy.
Okay.
I have no idea why, because I was terrible in everything else.
Pop down the right field side, and that ball is going to land foul, untouched. Let's check in with the studio fellas. Chuck and Ozzie, take it away. Can't wait. Post-game live presented by Subaru immediately follows the game. Yoan strikes out swinging. That's the first out.
He buries a slider down and in. Yoan over the top of this.
Now a left-left matchup. And Goodwin takes low. Two balls, no strikes. Chapin from Collins, Ohio. It's a tiny town west of Cleveland, not too far from Lake Erie.
You love to see him fall behind, because normally that's when the lefty-lefty advantage evens out. Because then a lefty doesn't have to worry about a slider more times than not. He's looking fastball, and probably it's going to be middle out.
2-1 on Goodwin. On the runner at first with a short lead. The 2-1 on Goodwin is hit into the right field corner, and it's foul.
Get out ahead of that, hit it awfully hard, but well foul. The reason why Brown couldn't get that earlier fly ball is that they're playing really deep all the way around in a no doubles defense. They'll give up the base hit. They just don't want to see a ball split the gap and have the tying run at the very least at second base. That allowed a good one to get another life.
Hooked on the ground. Kemp will get one. Relay by Chapman, the third baseman, is late.
Goes 4 or 5, and Brian hustling down the line, realizing to keep the inning alive, he's got to beat the play at first base, and he's able to do that.
Meanwhile, down 10-2 after 5. The Angels now lead at Detroit 11-10. They're in the 8th inning.
That's quite a comeback.
Mendick takes a strike.
Angels have had their pitching problem. Seems like a perennial problem, but they've got some guys that can hit. It's kept them in the neighborhood of 500.
One and one on Danny, filling in for Tim Anderson today. And Chafin will lob to first. Driven in the air out into center. Marte will get it on the warning track. Well struck, but for out number 3. Still 5-3 A's after 8. Grab some free Wi-Fi presented by Xfinity. Just go to Xfinity Wi-Fi_White Sox to boost your ballpark experience. Xfinity, the exclusive Wi-Fi provider for Guaranteed Rate Field and your Chicago White Sox.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Jose Ruiz. He's on for the 44th time. ERA below 3.5. 49 strikeouts and 47 1/3 is good. Right-handers have not hit him because of the curveball, which has been by and large very good this year. He's got to deal with the top of the order, and they haven't done a whole lot today, but they're pretty good hitters.
And Jose can reach the upper 90s with that fastball. Canna hitless in 3 official at bats plus a walk. And just wide on 98. Curve for a strike. It's 1-1. A roller handled by Hernandez. Marte coming up. Well, sad news to pass along. Bill Freehan has passed away. A multi-gold glover, 11-time All-Star catcher with the Tigers. He was a key member of the '68 World Series championship team. And Bill Freehan passing away at age 79 earlier today. Nice pick by Moncada. 2 ground outs here to start the 9th.
This is a one-hop rocket off the bat of Marte, and a nice pick. Plenty of time. 2 quick outs.
Now Olson, who hit the big home run to give the A's the lead, a 2-run homer in the 7th off Kopech. Bill Freehand played football and baseball at Michigan and later coached the Michigan baseball team. He was a terrific athlete. And a great catcher. Two and 0. Fouled back, 2 and 1. Somebody made a play. Inside, 3 balls and a strike to Olson with Moreland on deck. And Olson draws the walk. So it will give the DH a chance with a man on. There was something found on the glove of Caleb Smith last night, the Diamondbacks left-hander.
Yeah, that's going to cost him.
Yeah, he got kicked out, and that brings along an automatic 10-game suspension. Club deep to right, and it is foul. Ooh. Just foul. Everybody holding their breath watching that ball.
That ball stayed fair for a long time, but fortunately it hooked in front of the pole. Well, from this angle, if it goes behind the pole, it's foul. If we're looking at it right down the line, it would have to go in front of the pole to stay fair.
This one fouled to the backstop. I should correct myself. I don't know if he's officially been suspended yet. It was Hector Santiago. He was kicked out in a game here while he was with Seattle and eventually suspended 10 games. So I think there's a little bit of a process before it's officially handed down.
Well, the interesting part was he was checked the first time and everything was fine. And probably never anticipated being checked a second time. And it was the second time where they found something that wasn't supposed to be there.
Feels like those new rules have worked. The fact that only a couple of guys have been, quote, caught. 1-2 on Moreland. Jose stretches and fires away. 2-2.
Crowd wanted that, but that was inside off the plate. Take another look. You'll see where it winds up. I mean, it really was never a strike.
Just letting Olson know he hadn't forgotten him.
If he runs here, there'll be an investigation.
Now right at home plate. He got the first 2 on groundouts, then he walked Olson. 2-2 on the batter Moreland. And it's full.
Just as soon not face that guy.
Vaughn will play in Olson's back pocket over there at first. Runner goes on 3-2 and a ground ball up the middle. Backhanded. Mendick. Nice play. Last chance. 3 outs to go. They're down 2.
Endings are imposed and inflicted. Finishes are earned and celebrated.
Save!
Save!
Oakland! Jose Abreu!
It's the last word.
Everybody go home!
The closing act.
Here it is. It will go!
The final step.
Brian Goodwin wins it!
The whole point. We don't remember the start.
Ball game over!
We never forget the finish.
Sox looking for another fantastic finish. They're down a couple, and they'll try to get it done against Lou Trevino, looking for his 20th save.
19 for 21 overall with a fine ERA of 178. We did see him in a non-save situation. He walked 1 man, then induced a double play. He's got a big sinker, and that's what he tries to do. Sink the ball, keep it down, get ground balls.
Collins, Hernandez, and Robert. Abreu, if anybody gets on. Fastball high to start it. Pitchers of record right now: Irvin, the starter for the A's, and Kopech for the Sox. Foul strike, 1-1. Lou was born to be an athletic, born in Green Lane, Pennsylvania.
He got there to the only team that wears green.
That ball will get down for a hit. Collins is on. The tying run will come up.
2 for 3 today for Zach. Things starting to fall into place for him. That's a sinker that didn't sink but ran away from him. He stayed right with it and split the gap in left center field. Promising way to start the 9th inning.
Hernandez the batter. 0 for 4 from the leadoff spot. Changeup is a little high. Even those losses against the Yankees over the weekend, they made the Yankees work very hard to close them out. Check swing foul. Didn't mean to.
That would have been borderline, but Cesar did not want to pull the trigger, just hit the bat.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. The old adage is to win easy and lose hard. The White Sox have won easy, they've won hard, but when they've lost, for the most part, they've lost hard. They've made it really close almost every night. That's the first out.
A couple of back-to-back changeups. He had Hernandez well out in front of both. You see the release. It's almost a split change, but takes enough off his fastball to make it tough to handle.
Now he's got to deal with Robert as the tying run. Big cut, and he fouled it off.
Got a good swing at that cutter. It was in a good spot. Trevino threw it on the outside corner. But Luis has been swinging it really well.
Seven hits in the series. He's played 3 games. And it's 0-2.
Greg Kimbrell throwing in the Sox pen. Just in case there is another inning.
Collins at first, one away, 0-2, in on the hands and fought off foul.
Most of the time, Luis looks really good on changeups. He doesn't appear to be fooled. Trevino can get it up there 96, 97 miles an hour with a good straight change.
High fly ball out in the center. Marte is back on it, and he has enough room on the warning track for out number 2.
And Luis waited back, still hit it awfully hard, but unfortunately a couple of feet short of tying up the ball game.
Now here's a guy who tied up the game the other night against the Yankees, Jose Abreu. And 2 outs in the ninth on a Saturday, hit a game tire. Now 2 outs. Olsen will play behind the runner Collins. Knocked down by the catcher Murphy. Outfield deep all around. Infield back. This will get back to the seats. It's 1-1. As bad a week as it's been for Oakland, if the A's hold on and the Astros lose at Kansas City, they're within a game and a half of the lead in the West.
They got their destiny in front of them because 6 of 9 against Houston, the last 9 games of the season.
Here's a 1-1 and popped in the air, shallow center. Guessing it'll be Marte, and it drops. Collins will score. Abreu to second. It's a 1-run game. And it looks like Elvis Andrus is injured as he and Marte kept going after that ball. That was Starling Marte's ball. And hopefully Elvis is okay.
neither man was willing to give way. This is just another horrible sight. The second of the series for Oakland, and Elvis Andrus is a really good shortstop, and let's hope that he is okay. Marte's a very big, strong man and seemed to hit him full force.
Well, we talked about how deep the Oakland outfield was playing. So Marte had a long run coming in. And I don't know again if Andrus just didn't hear him, but it was not a pleasant collision at all. And very slow to get up.
Looks like he's feeling for his throat. And you see how deep Marte was. He's coming on. He could make the play easily. I think his forearm got him under the throat. That's exactly what happened.
Little whiplash. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. It's scary. You obviously worry about concussions in spots like this. And they're going to charge the error to Andrus.
Well, the fact that he's up and around is a really good sign. Fans here, give him a round of applause.
So he's going to stay in the game. Wow. And the batter's going to be Eloy Jimenez with the tying run at second, and Eloy will represent the winning run. Trevino will take a couple of warm-up tosses after the delay. So we will resume. 2 outs, bottom 9. Outfield will not play quite as deep. Trevino has a sign. He's ready. And the pitch to Eloy. Line shot. Marte's got it. And the A's hang on. One of the hardest hit balls of the afternoon for the final out. And the A's hang on. 5-4 the final, but the Sox do take 3 out of 4.
It was a good series. The Sox battled back today after giving up the lead. Oakland just hit too many home runs, and in the end, they salvaged 1 game. But it's on to Tampa Bay, and Len, thanks for sitting in for Jason. You did a great job. We will see you down the road, and hopefully, I believe Jason will be on the broadcast tomorrow.
Yep, let's hope. Thanks for taking great care of me, Stoney. Same to Chris Withers, Andrew Blaustein, Chris Kampka, Joe Grube. Len Casper with your final. Oakland 5, White Sox 4. Now to the studio with Chuck and Ozzie.